Greetings, you royal rubes! Kent Brindley, vintage animation and action figure nerd here. The top 10 evil warriors and standalone villains of Eternia, not named Skeletor. Nor, for the sake of argument, Commander Hordak. Believe it or not, this list was a lot easier for me to make than the top 10 heroes list. I was just never that impressed with Skeletor as a villain. In fact, it's more difficult for me to keep Commander Hordak off the list than it is Skeletor. And that being said, this list was slightly easier for me to do than the heroes list. Or I had to avoid ranking He-Man, and to be fair, I had to avoid ranking She-Ra either. Anyway, on to the list. With number 10, the Awful Clawful. Okay. Alright, I'm going to hate myself for this because it's impossible to stand back up. Clawful. Yes. But wait a minute. Here, it would help if you could see his face. Clawful. Yes. Yes. Very strong first appearance in Driel's Return. I rented that tape all of the time when I was little, and that tape is going to come back up in a minute. Clawful is an evil warrior. Again, had a very strong debut appearance. He definitely took charge in that he bullied Trapjaw and bossed him around a lot. It was a strong first appearance for him, and 4-year-old me was impressed. As for everything else about Driel's Return, even 4-year-old me was ready to jettison Yuckers right back to Tralla. Even I knew he was obnoxious, and I was a toddler. Then I saw the DVDs, and I saw the other episodes that Clawful was in, and they severely toned down his character. Made him no more than one more extra evil warrior who rarely showed up, if at all, in the background. Come on. Stand back up there. Okay, do not make me fix you later, you up. I love that Super 7 finally made that figure of him, but it took me a good 2 years to get his feet right where he'd stand on his own. Number 9. We are going to Etheria. We are jettisoning our way across planets. And we are honoring definitely my childhood favorite Hordesmen, Mantenna. Definitely a whipping boy and scapegoat for Hordak. Not much different than the way Skeletor treated Beastman. Yep. The trapdoor gag for Mantenna just never got old. Made him one of my favorite characters when I was little, and it still stands to this day. There are stronger Hordesmen than Mantenna who could have made a top 10 powerful villains list. These are just my top 10 favorite villains. Evil warriors, evil Hordesmen, standalone enemies, what have you. Number 8. Number 8.
Triclops, Master of Vision.
Wait a minute.
Triclops, Master of Vision.
At number 8. Filmation did not use this guy's character properly. They didn't use him often enough to establish his character. I mean, when they did use him, he was a secondary background grunt to Skeletor, or he was fawning over Evil Lyn and playing second fiddle to her plans. By the way, I love that Super 7 finally made Triclops in the Filmation design. I hate the fact that they originally messed up his head so badly that they didn't even include the rotating visor gimmick. And I hate even more that his new head won't even sit on just right, so he looks like a giraffe. Major deduction of points, Super 7. I do love my Club Grayskull figures, but major deduction of points on Triclops. That being said, the mini comics Triclops at least had some personality. Mike Young Productions came along and they made him an inventor. Masters of the Universe Revelations came along and they and they used his characterization from Mike Young Productions and just made him a tech lord. That's awesome. I love that Mike Young Productions and later Netflix were ready to give Triclops the credit and the role that he was due. Outside of just one more of Skeletor's minions, who then wasn't even used that often. Yeah. Major Brownie points that Filmation's Triclops was almost as strong as He-Man was in the Diamond Ray of Disappearance episode. He was strong enough to almost overpower him. Number 7. Number 7.
Merman, Warlord of Water. This is Merman.
2 words. Teela's Quest. Hands down, Merman's strongest appearance. And he would then try to go it alone again in Return of the VHO and City Beneath the Sea. He would try to be a standalone villain. He was a fairly strong fighter under the ocean, but he was a coward when He-Man was across from him. Tried to be a strong fighter, strong leader. Great voice. Unfortunately, his rivalry with Man-at-Arms was utilized famously in Teela's Quest and then cast aside. Inexplicably, I mean. And then along came Season 2, which Season 2 was the bane of all of Skeletor's evil warriors, including old Bonehead himself. Number 6. Negator. Negator was one of the best standalone villains of Eternia, not named Skeletor. Game plan was a very strong episode for Negator, it shared the same tape with Driel's Return that I basically knew from memory at about the age of 4 because I rented it all of the time. Yeah. Negator in Game Plan was a very strong villain. I thought he was a much better villain than Skeletor. Negator in Trouble's middle name just severely undermined his first appearance. Trouble's middle name also undermined the Temple of the Sun and most of our established heroic warriors. Trouble's middle name belongs on the same list as the greatest show on Eternia. It should have never happened. It should have never made it off of the cutting room floor. Number 5, the Game Master from Pawns of the Game Master. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Volume 6, the B-side episode opposite Return of Granomir. Pawns of the Game Master. The Game Master was an intergalactic villain who captured gladiators for games to fight for his amusement. He very much hid behind the pawns that he had captured. But his personality was such that he made for a memorable villain. And he didn't have a second episode that then severely messed up his character. So if I'm just going by game plan, Negator and Game Master would have definitely been flipped. But I do have to factor in Trouble's middle name. The Game Master was very much a boastful braggart. He captured his pawns to fight and for his amusement, and then he sat on his throne and watched them. He had an opportunity to go one-on-one with He-Man, and he lost. He lost very, very badly. And his warriors and gladiators were free to return to their own worlds. That was number 5, the Game Master. Definitely still one of my favorite episodes, even if the villain is not quite the best. All right. That was number 5, the Game Master. Number 4. Number 4. I'm warning you now, the fact that this guy's number 4 is showing a lot of growth in me because he, to this day, is still my favorite of the vintage Masters of the Universe action figures because growing up, he was always my favorite Eternian villain. And then I dropped him.
Hey, Trapjaw!
Trapjaw, Wizard of Weapons. I love it. Trapjaw was definitely the inventor in Filmation. He invented most of his own arm attachments. Occasionally they even fit right. And he was not afraid to go out on his own. He let Clawful lead the way in Indriel's return. He and Beastman went out on their own separate from Skeletor at least once. And he even made a conscious decision to side with Lord Mask in House of Shakoti Part 1. Trapjaw was definitely my favorite of Skeletor's evil warriors. I mean, the voice, the design, the personality, and the weapons. They just did it for me. Wait a minute. Oh no, he has arm attachments. They're back there. I was about to say. I was about to definitely flag the Masters of the Universe Retro Trapjaw for no weapons. Yeah, they're back there. This guy's just being displayed on his card. The Super 7 version, the Super 7 Filmation version is standing back there with his weapons up, fighting the evil horde. In fact, I think he's fighting Dilamug. Yeah, there he is. He's back there battling it out with Dilamug. And the fact that Trapjaw's at number 4 is no detriment to him. It's how strong the top 3 are. I'm going to put this guy back. Uh-oh, I can't see number 3. I can't see her. Oh, I see it. She fell off the table at some point. Okay. Alright. Alright, anyway. Now I'll find her wand and stuff later. I'm just giving this all away. Yeah, big dramatic reveal. You know it's a her, and that she has a wand someplace. Number 3. Evelyn, Sorceress of Night. Yes. Oh, now I see her her wand and black ruby in the cordite. Okay. Evelyn, the Sorceress of Night. Definitely Skeletor's second in command, and of his evil warriors, the one who was always at the ready to go out on her own and to spite Skeletor. She was definitely his equal in magical power. I don't know why she didn't just revolt against Skeletor and upend him. Uproot his leadership. Yeah, there's your Filmation episode. I'd have watched that. She was conniving and cunning and almost classy in a couple of episodes. Probably her strongest appearance by far was in The Witch and the Warrior, when Kathos stranded her and Tila in the desert, and she had to hide behind Tila's warrior training because Kathos had stripped her of her magic. Now, number 2. I'll fix her later. We are jettisoning our way back to Etheria and Shadow Weaver. The only member of the Horde. Just no Hordesman. Come on. The only member of the Horde who, in my opinion, really surpassed Hordak. And in her appearance in her appearance in Of Shadows and Skulls, she knew she surpassed Hordak. Hordak's reliance on technology versus Shadow Weaver's mastery of sorcery. Yeah. Her sorcery was going to win every time, especially when she summoned Skeletor to help. Yeah. Even at about 2 years old or whatever, I knew I was looking at someone special. Even at 2, I knew that Adora, Glimmer, and Frosta were attractive. There is nothing pretty about Shadow Weaver. There is nothing pretty about her as a character, but I still knew that my eyes were beholding someone special. All right. The honorable mentions to include Aramis from The Return of Evil, Lord Mask from House of Shakoti Part 1. Lord Mask would have gotten a coveted number 11 spot in a minute. If we're going to talk about Mask, we might as well talk about his mistress Shakoti. Honorable mention. And Leech and Imp. Honorable mentions for the Horde. I'm really struggling not to buck my own rules and at least make Hordak an honorable mention. But I won't. Number 1. Number 1, favorite villain, evil warrior, or Hordesman. Evil Seed. Who does that cabbage think he is? That cabbage thinks that he's the only villain strong enough to require that Skeletor and He-Man join forces to save Eternia. That's who that cabbage thinks he is. The master of the plants, and very much the titular star of his own episode. It obviously wouldn't be the last time that He-Man and Skeletor had to join forces. It wouldn't be the first time that He-Man was called on to save Skeletor. Evil Seed was definitely responsible for the most iconic appearance of the two working together as a team. And for just one day, Skeletor was helping to save Eternia from a threat much bigger than himself. And to think, I didn't even see the Evil Seed episode when it was on television. I had to wait for the DVD releases to see Evil Seed's episode for the first time. There you have it, the top 10 villains of Eternia or Etheria. Be they the standalone villains, the evil warriors, or the evil horde. What did I get right and where did I go wrong? feel free to discuss. Thanks. Thanks for watching. And you have the power. I'll see you soon.